Again, I feel like we're progressing a little bit too quickly. I kind of want to, I don't know, I want to spend more like, just like easygoing scenes, you know, with Karen first before we kind of like delve into her deep dark secrets already. But in the realms of sleeping, I walk alone through the night. The door opens with a creak. A dimly lit room. He is asleep on the bed. My beloved. Oh, okay, this is a different perspective, actually. It's her. I gaze upon her sleeping face. Hair, face, nose, mouth. I stare at each part carefully, then exhaled. The heat in my body is being let out. But even so, my body is still hot. Just the mere sight of my beloved makes my body tremble so much. His face, his body, everything about him was so lovely. That's why I can't stop trembling. I want you to hold me tight right now. I want you to hold fast this trembling body of mine. I want you to acknowledge my existence so much, I can't bear it. My hand gently reaches for his cheek. Reaching, I almost actually touched. On the verge of doing so, I stopped. I felt like if I touched him, he would break. I felt like he would leave me again. Hey, Soya-kun. You're not going to go anywhere, are you? Just stay here. That's all I need. It's just a late night visit, that's all. Day 5. I guess there's like 2 days left, or maybe if you include this day, I guess it'll be 3 days. I woke up for the 5th time. I was gradually getting used to seeing this ceiling, I thought. Huh? When did I go to bed last night? I don't remember. I must have overslept. All things considered, I'm still awfully asleep. Sleepy, rather. I look at the clock. It was already noon. I had slept for a long time. I say that I'm sleepy, but rather my body feels sluggish. I'm sure I'll fall asleep again if I'm not careful. It's not a good idea, so I got out of bed. If it keeps getting worse, I'll consult with her. I'll see how it goes for a few days. Well then, what should I do today? What should I do today? What should I do? Still doing this, eh? I don't know. Let's go to the reading room. Let's go read some books. Maybe we'll learn what this letter meant, you know? I came to the reading room. Maybe I might be able to find some information. Maybe I might be able to find some information here. That's what I thought, so I came here. Oh, I see you here today. Oh yeah. He was already here first, so there's no way I can search for anything. It can't be helped. I'll give up for today. Oh, is that it? Darn it. Hey, can I ask you something? What are you searching for? Nothing in particular? What do you ask? Nothing really. I was just curious, that's all. If it's no big deal, that's fine. I was surprised, because all of a sudden she asked me something like that. I struggled to keep my composure. Were you onto me, or were you just curious? I don't know. Because I don't know. I felt I need to know more and more. Yeah, okay, bye. Oh, that was quick. Okay, so I guess if we choose the wrong place, then just nothing happens, I guess. You know, I am tempted to like... It seems like there's a lot of choices, you know, especially in the beginning. Like, which place should I go and stuff like that. There potentially could be a lot of different kinds of scenes. It's interesting, but... I don't know. I kind of want to keep the story moving. I don't want to like restart every single time to see every single scene. Not yet, anyway. Until maybe I reach like a proper ending. I woke up. My body is heavy. I can't seem to muster my strength. When did I fall asleep? With great difficulty, I finally sat up. But my head is spinning? I thought as I stared blankly into thin air. After a few minutes, my thoughts finally became clearer. This time, I got out of the bed and stretched lightly. I'm hoping it's just because I woke up from sleep, and not because I'm feeling dizzy or something. Dragging my heavy body, I left the room. Where should I go? I will go to Mushroom Kingdom. No, let's try maybe Karen's room? Maybe we can read the rest of her diary, assuming her door is not locked. I arrived in front of Karen's room. I took a deep breath, checked left and right to make sure no one was around. Then, alright, mustering my determination, I turned the doorknob, but no use, huh? I'm sure there's something inside here, but this door won't open that easily. Of course, even if there wasn't anything special, this was a private room. If anyone could get in so easily, there wouldn't be any privacy. Why did I even try to enter inside? It's as if, the player stupidly made that choice. I muttered to myself and decided to head back to my room. I guess nothing is accomplished. Too bad. And nothing was gained on that day. The sun is setting and night is coming. It's the 6th night, the day our fates will be decided. When tomorrow comes, it'll be all over. That's why my heart is in so much pain. There's no going back anymore. I can't turn back. No matter how many times I think about it, no matter how much I keep thinking about it, there's no going back. Even so, the night of the final day. Oh, actually, it was the 6th day, so it was the second last day. So day 7 is the final day. So, okay, now it's the dawn of the final day. And then the big moon with a scary face, drops down and we all die. Morning, the 7th morning. I awoke and sat up. For some reason, my body's heavy and my consciousness is wavering. Dragging my heavy body, I stood up. Today I knew exactly what I had to do. Let's go see her. Good morning, Soyakun. How are you feeling? She smiled as she stared at me. She looks the same as always. Speaking of which, I'm sure there was something I wanted to ask her. Something that made me suspicious of her. And yet, I wonder why. I can't remember what it was. You don't have to force yourself to remember what you can't remember. You were here with me, and you spent time with me. Isn't that all? Character review. We have slightly reddish? Brown reddish hair? I don't know. Hey, isn't that right? There's nothing in here that will hurt you. If only you hadn't tried to search, because nothing will come out of it. Because this is a birdcage, built just for you. Because this is just a place where I wish you and I can be happy together. Those deep, compassionate words echoed in my head. The words seeped through, melting and intruding. I couldn't gather any strength. My eyelids drooped. I couldn't even open my mouth or say a word. I tried to get her to help me, and then I realized. Speaking of which, what was this person's name again? I was pretty sure I called her, but it won't come to mind. That's right. There's nothing to worry about. Don't worry. You'll wake up and everything will be fine. So, good night. I love you. It broke again. Ending 1. Birdcage. Alright. Well, I guess that was just one ending. Also, oh, I don't know what this is. I can't read Japanese. I don't know what this is. Project M. It's like advertisements in the video game. This is one of the endings. It's an ending that you arrived at without fully knowing about her. In that case, this time, it might be good to more actively collect memories and knowledge related to her. The hint is, start from the first day. There, you have your answer. Then maybe you will arrive at a different ending to this story. Alright. So, okay. So this is that type of game where it's like, it's interesting. So there's like, your choices kind of matter, right? So depending on what you do in these 7 days, will affect your overall outcome, of what's happening. I guess we'll see. All right, so we're back at the beginning. This is the first day yet again. We never really visited the courtyard, by the way. I don't know. I was just curious. Like maybe we should visit the courtyard. So do that. I don't know if anything happens, but I came to the courtyard, the first place I visited after waking up. At that time, it was still dark, but when I visited again in the daytime like this, my impression was very different. Sitting on the edge of the fountain, listening to the gentle sound of water flowing, I was thinking back to our earlier conversation. I had no memories. I've been briefed on my situation, but to be frank, I don't really feel it at all. I don't know who I am, and that's why I keep asking myself questions like this. I wonder if it's because I just woke up that I feel like this. But of course, your mind and body aren't quite in sync yet, I was surprised to hear a voice coming from right beside me. I turned to the direction of the voice. As I thought, Karen stood there smiling. My mind and body aren't in sync? You've just woken up, so of course you'll feel confused. Karen replied as she sat down next to me and stretched lightly. So I know you're worried right now. Don't fret over it. Just take your time getting used to it. And that's why I'm here. I can tell you all about the you don't know about, okay? I guess so. Yeah, you could be right. Things I don't know, that I should know. Of course, anyone will be worried. Well then, Karen, why don't you tell me a bit about myself? Of course. You're a really knowledgeable person. You're a literature major, so you really know a lot of stuff, and you taught me a lot. Whether about literature or about music, I've learned a lot of things thanks to you. Everyone around you thinks you're a normal guy, or a boring guy, just like a generic anime protagonist, and they also called you, a nerd? But I'm the only one who knows you're not like that. You're certainly quiet, but you're sincere when dealing with people and honest, these generic traits that have been applied to you, the generic protagonist. You're a very, very gentle person. Karen, who told me this, looks lonely for some reason. Hey, Soya-kun. I'm so glad you're awake. So I'll do anything for you. Just how serious was she? I had just woken up, so I couldn't understand. Alright. Memory acquired about myself. Soya was said to have been quiet but knowledgeable. According to Karen, Soya was a gentle person. Yasashi. Well, it's the second day. Let's see. Where should we go now? I never picked my room. It feels like kind of a boring choice to just go back to my room, But I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's go back to my room. Just stay in our room all day. Be the hikikomori that I truly am. I returned to my room. I couldn't think of anything in particular to do, and resting my body is also important. Ugh. I fell asleep. My eyelids grew heavy. I let myself fall asleep. Like that, I closed my eyes. Alright. Okay, you just skip a day. Alright. I am curious though, if you go to my room again, like what happens? Probably a bad idea. Probably just lead to the same ending. if I had to guess. But I'm just curious what happens if you pick my room again, like when Karen's away, because the whole thing that triggers like finding the truth and everything was like going inside her room and finding that diary. I don't know. I'm curious. Like, what happens if you go to my room? Like, anything happen? Like, nothing happens, maybe. And then I don't know. Oh, actually, this is different. What's this? The rain was quietly falling. While listening to the sound of raindrops hitting her umbrella, the woman, Karen, was on her way home. I guess it took me longer than I thought. I hope he's not too worried. Okay. She went to the city. She went to the konbini. Maybe, I don't know. Well, there's a konbini, like, or a convenience store next to her. I don't know if she went inside, though. She wanted to go home soon and see her beloved. That was all she cared about. Just then, Karen saw a group of people approaching her. Huh. These two look familiar. In fact, hey, this is a reference, I think, to the developer's first game, actually. They seemed like high school students. A refreshing, handsome boy and a bright, lively girl. And then there's this mysterious girl who watches the two of them from one step behind them with a calm expression, totally not like hiding behind a telephone pole or anything. Don't worry about it. Karen crossed paths with these three high school students. Excuse me. Just as they were passing each other, Karen called out to the girl. So crusty. Well, they look like they're made in pixel art. I'm assuming it's original art for them. But like, this person is like, this is like remade, I think. Like the art wasn't remade for the two characters that we just saw. Anyway, what is it? Here, you dropped this, your handkerchief. Ah, you're right. I'm sorry, thank you very much. It's very important to me. Well, I'm glad I noticed it then. Don't lose it. Yes, for sure. You can always buy back the same item, but you can't get back the feelings that they went into it. Is it really that important, that thing? Yes. I received this from my #1 best friend in the world, so it's one of my treasures. Is it her behind you? Both of them. Hey, Kokya-chan, what are you doing? Hurry up, or we'll leave you behind, Kokya. Yes, I'll be right there, Hiyori-chan, Kazuma-kun. Well then, thank you again for picking this up. My friends are waiting for me, so I better go. Yes, please go after them. Yeah, see you. After saying that, the girl named Kyokya turned her back on Karen and began to leave. Hey. As Karen watched Kyokya's back as she was leaving, Kyokya realized that Karen called out to her again. You're just like me. What? What is it? Oh, you're obsessed with something. You can't help it. Something so important to you that if you lost it, it would destroy you. I understand that feeling well. I also don't want to imagine that something breaking as well. I don't want to break it. I don't want to break. I don't want it to break. I want it to stay just the way it is. I want it to be beside me forever and ever. These arrogant, self-centered wishes. You have them too, don't you? I don't know what you're talking about. But that's alright. Because my wish has already come true. Even if someone tries to destroy it, I won't allow it. That's why our happiness is unbreakable. Really, it's just like that. Okay, well then forget what I just said. Yeah, I'll forget it. You don't need to tell me. Goodbye, someone whose name I don't know. I won't forget that you did me a favor picking up my handkerchief. I should get going too. I can't wait to see him. Goodbye, girl who's just like me. I'm sure we'll never meet again, though. Alright. Okay. Kind of on the nose. But that's a reference to... the first game. I keep forgetting the name. It's Daisuke the Hiradon. I guess, if you, self-promotion, if you on YouTube, if you haven't, watched that playthrough yet, then I recommend that you do on my channel. Anyway. Oh, well, this is different, by the way. All right, so I believe this is the 4th or 5th day, I think. Basically, this is when... This is right after we get the letter. You know, that mysterious letter near the clock tower. And this seems to be different. The scene, anyway. Let's see. It seems to be from the perspective of Karen. Since yesterday, his behavior has been noticeably strange. It's like he's trying to figure something out, or searching for something. When it comes to exploring his own memories, I guess that's normal. But he seemed to be looking for more than that. I'm sure he's looking for the truth that I've hidden. Maybe it's inevitable after all. As long as he's him, no matter how much you limit him, he's going to follow the same path. And that's not a good thing for me. Anyways, it's all the same. So I'll give him a nudge. I'm going to give him what he's looking for. If I do that, will you be satisfied? Who's she talking to? Who's she talking to? She talking to me? She talking to me? Okay, so this is day 5 again. I remember going to a reading room last time and nothing really happened. Going back to the clock tower, I imagine, doesn't do anything. So, what if we go to Karen's room this time? I wonder what happens then. There was that scene about her, like, giving us, like, a nudge? I'm not sure. What was that? She's in the greenhouse? I guess? Evening. After confirming that Karen was in the greenhouse, I headed to her room as fast as I could. Okay, well that's what it was. Okay. We were just seeing her through the glass window. We was like, ooh, she's over there, alright. I carefully planned my actions to avoid being found out. I really didn't want to sneak around behind the back of the person who's taking care of me, but I can't avoid this if I'm to know the truth. So I went to Karen's room and opened the door. Hey! Just right then, I heard a voice. Karen. Geez, didn't I tell you not to go into my room? Or perhaps, so you're curious about my room. If you just asked me, I wouldn't mind showing it to you. No, that's not it. I did try to enter your room, but this was because I had some business with you. You were in the greenhouse just now, though? Why did you just call out to me then? Huh? Was I mistaken? I didn't go to the greenhouse. Isn't that why I came here? I see. Then it must have been my imagination. Okay. I'll let you have this one, Karen muttered, and I heard it. What did you want from me anyway? I just thought we could have a little chat. Alright, well, follow me. Karen brought me to the veranda of the mansion. Come to think of it, this might be the first time I've been here. So, was there something you wanted to ask me? No, it's not anything special like that. I just wanted to be able to talk to you normally. You're saying some really pleasant things today, Well then, I'll tell you a fairy tale. Fairy tale? Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's the story of a certain family that's been passed down as a tale. Once upon a time, a certain family lived in the country to the west. That family dealt in the hidden mysteries of the world. They were known as mages by those around them, and revered. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, mages. The secret magic they used was the art of creating something from something through equivalent exchange. Oh yes, equivalent exchange, eh? They used their magic to help people, to help the world. Before long, they had achieved a high status in society. However, the glory of those who built such an era faded with the passage of time. The mysteries vanished before the power of science. And so they faded away from stage. That's how it works in Fate Stay Night. The more mundane, something is, the less power it has, in terms of magic. Anyway. The only thing they left in the world was the concept they created. No one knows what happened to them after that. So, what do you think of that story? Is that a real story? Then I tell you, I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a story that's been passed down up to now. And you're the one who told me this story, don't you remember? Me? Yes, about alchemy. A story about its long history that might have once existed in reality. Alchemy? Yes, you said it was a fairy tale because we don't know if it's true or not. The concept of alchemy is definitely something that exists in history, but even that could have been invented fiction. It could be from an anime called Full Metal Alchemist, anyway. Because history can always be distorted. No one knows what truly happened in the past, except the people who were alive when it happened. Moreover, if even its existence can't be confirmed, I think it's the same as if it never existed. For some reason, Karen muttered to herself. Karen? No, it's nothing. Huh? It's already this late. I have to get ready for dinner. It was fun talking to you. I'll call you when dinner's ready. With that, Karen left the veranda. Veranda? As if she was escaping. Alchemists, huh? It's ridiculous, but yet she seemed hesitant to dismiss the idea. I'm sure it's just my imagination, though. Even if I check Karen's room, I probably won't find anything. Let's go back. Giving up on this search, I went straight back to my room. Knowledge acquired regarding a fairy tale. Karen told me the story of a certain family that dealt in alchemy. We don't know if it's true or not. She said that history can always be distorted. Alright, what happens? What happens if you go to the reading room? I came to the reading room. Carefully arranged bookshelves and a fashionable desk. I visited here before, so I know the layout of the whole room. Looking carefully around the room, I searched for anything that might be of use. Well, it's not going to be that easy, is it? I was going through the books on the shelves one by one, when I found a book whose spine caught my attention. I'll try taking a look at it. It looks like a very well-worn book. Why? If it isn't in English, I can't read it at all. Funnily enough, because this is a translation of a Japanese game, so technically English, it's kind of like a foreign language to a typical Japanese person. Though they do take English classes though, right? But not all of them would be like, I guess, fluent, But yeah, it's in English. I can't read English. When I gave up and started flipping through the book randomly, I stopped at a certain page. On that page, there was a bookmark, and a note was clipped there. Is this a translation? I'm in luck. This is too good to be true. Like an English translated game, having a translation of an English book to Japanese, that translate back to English, you see. So it's a little confusing. It's as if I was being set up. I had such a feeling. But now that I've found it, I guess I have no choice but to read it. I prepared myself and started to read the Japanese translation. That is in English, but it's actually Japanese. Regarding alchemy. The concept of alchemy is widely known even today if you watch Full Metal Alchemist, and also the remake, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But it's kind of confusing. If you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood by itself, it might be a little confusing because it skips a lot of the introduction, of like Full Metal Alchemist. Like it assumes that you already watched the original Full Metal Alchemist, or if you read the manga already, because it definitely skips a lot of scenes in the beginning seasons, or whatever. Or actually, did it have seasons, or was it one season? I can't remember. Anyway, I just know that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is like the highest rated anime on like myanimelist.net. Even though I don't think it's the best anime ever, but somehow it's like the highest score, you know. Anyway, the concept of alchemy is widely known even today. The mysterious art of creation in accordance with the absolute law of equivalent exchange, which creates matter from matter. Its origin was said to date back to ancient times. Once, there was a clan that flourished by using alchemy. The name of the clan was Birdcage, or Ancestors. Okay, so I'm assuming Torikago? Torikago. Kago just means cage, maybe? Cage? Oh, nah. Yes, alchemy is indeed a thing that exists in this world, and alchemists have, or who perform it, exists. The existence of us, their descendants, is proof of this. However, as time went on, alchemy was no longer successfully passed down from, I keep reading it wrong. The alchemy was no longer successfully passed down through the generations. As time went on, it was inherited and passed down in an incomplete form. Therefore, alchemy in the modern age has one decisive difference compared to that of the past. It means that the of the thing created is not blanked. Okay? When blank is passed, the blank will unfortunately blank. The solution to this problem is the stone, but its purification method is not known. I see. Was this placed here deliberately? I was curious about the contents of the memo, but above all, I was bothered by how it came to be lying inside this book. It must have been placed here intentionally. Is there only one person who could have done this? Because this is her mansion. Other than myself, there's only one other person. What are you doing? My body shuddered in a jolt. I turned my eyes towards the door. There, of course, was... Okay. She's a little different. But Karen, standing there. So you're here. As I thought, you're really fond of books, aren't you? Well, I guess. What are you reading? I turned my back to the bookshelf and put the book away so that it won't be noticed. But she could probably see through my intentions. It's really nothing special. By the way, Karen. What is it? I tried to ask Karen about the contents of the book I'd just been reading. Without a doubt, Karen knows something about it. She probably knows everything I wanted to know. She knows everything about what I'm looking for. Maybe everything I did until now was just me dancing in the palm of her hand. I should hear what she has to say. Is Kagomiya Karen my enemy or my ally? What's that song? Oh, the misery. Everyone I know is my enemy. Or is my enemy? I don't know. I always make up the melodies. Like, it doesn't go like that. It goes like, is my enemy? Oh, the misery. Is it everyone I know or is it everyone I see? I don't know. I don't know the lyrics or the melody. Everything is secondhand, by the way. I've never even heard the real song before. But like, it's by Imagine Dragons, right? It's like, oh, the misery. Everyone I know is my enemy. Or something like that. Yeah, it's Arcane, yes. Is it like the opening theme of Arcane, that League of Legends show that I never watched? But I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, is she my enemy or my ally? I don't know. But if I listen to her, something will happen. A relationship will collapse. You're scared of me, aren't you? But don't worry, just relax. At the very least, I'm on your side. I won't put you in harm's way. Rest assured that's not a lie. Either way, you'll find out tomorrow. Because tomorrow is the 7th day. Today, the you that's come here are just a little bit closer to finding the thing you want to know. That's all I'll say. Well then, shall we have dinner? Because it's almost evening. What's for dinner? I wonder what's for dinner. You never played League, but you recommend it? I don't know. I have too many things. I have too many video games to play. I have so much anime in my backlog. What happens is I have so much anime backlog, but instead I just read manga. Instead, just random manga. A recent manga that I read, actually, that I recommend would be Asper Kanajo, which has kind of like kind of an outdated term in it, but like Asper, but as in like Asperger's, I guess, Asperger's syndrome or something. I don't know. It's interesting because it's a little cliche, but like it's interesting because like it's about like someone on the autism spectrum, I guess, if that makes sense. And it's like, but like it deconstructs that, you know how like there's a lot of anime characters, especially anime girls, like a typical romance anime, where they act all like quirky, they act like they're I don't know how you say it's shown them to be like socially awkward, I guess, right? But like it's treated as if it's cute, it's like hee they're so cute that they have like a mental illness, so, and like nothing bad really happens to them for the most part, kind of like Komi-san, like she can't communicate or whatever. That like manga, which did it turn to an anime yet? I don't remember. Kind of like that, except in the manga that I read, Asperu Kanojo, which in English I believe it's That's My Atypical Girl, so they kind of localized it. They kind of deconstruct that, as in like the main girl actually does have a kind of like a mental illness that she struggles through, and like it's kind of actually pretty sincere about it. I don't know how accurate it is, and maybe it's a little offensive, but like I found it entertaining. I don't know, I found it like more realistic than most romance stories, and therefore I actually found it more interesting. Normally, I don't know, I don't like romance normally, but like I found it interesting because of that twist, where like they actually treated it as like a real illness and not just something that's like, haha, you just play it for laughs and they're like, that's it. But actually, like it's like, kind of like the main conflict, the main driving drama of the entire story is the fact that she's struggling with that, right? She has actually real mental illness, right? And also the main protagonist as well also has issues, I guess. And it's all about this like relationship that they have that's like kind of codependent, really. It's kind of like not really healthy, but like I don't know, it's interesting. Anyway, Komi does have an anime. Oh, okay. I thought I was like a meme for the longest time that it didn't have an anime, but then I guess it does. I don't know, I never watched it. Anyway, all right, I rambled for that was like a really long tangent. Anyway, back to the game. But yeah, as she finished speaking, Karen just walked away. The way she looked was no different from the Karen I knew. But I'm just a little bit scared of tomorrow's arrival. Ew. Goop. Knowledge acquired regarding alchemy. I searched in the study for information. I found a book that says that apparently alchemy exists. Alchemy is real. The alchemy is real. I can't help but feel like I'm dancing in the palm of her hand. Is it really the right thing to do? All right. Well, I feel like we found a lot, we've pretty much dug out a lot of information in this playthrough. Do we get a different ending? Let's see. Well, I mean, this is new. I saw him and began to follow him using my eyes. I couldn't call out to him. I don't have the courage to do that. All I could do was follow him and picture him in my mind's eye. Simply speaking, I was in a fantasy. I want to go here today. For example, when you go on a date with someone, you say something like that. You're such a sweetheart. We were living together, and it was a holiday today, something like that. It's so nice to take it easy like this, just the two of us. Drinking tea in the greenhouse of the mansion, something like that. I wrote those fantasies in my diary. At that time, I even got jealous when I saw him talking to another girl. I was so jealous when he talks to that woman without my knowledge. He's mine, I pretended to be her, fantasizing an ideal reality, and I was satisfied. That was good enough. Good enough for me. I didn't have to be bound to him. I was able to live just by knowing he was alive, just by his very existence. From that day on, he became someone special to me, my reason for living. So you what? What did you do? What did you do? Karen? What did you do? Well, I can guess, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's morning. The 7th morning. I awoke and sat up. For some reason, my body's heavy, and my consciousness is wavering. Dragging my heavy body, I stood up. Today I knew exactly what I had to do. Let's go see her. Random MC exists? Enders. Must have him. Voodoo? Is that your hypothesis, X-Pen? Voodoo? I disagree. I don't think it's voodoo, but anyway, we'll see. I don't want to spoil. When I play visual novels, especially ones that are kind of like there's like a mystery to it. I tend not to voice my predictions yet, because I mean, just like, even if you're like a viewer, I tend to not, I prefer people don't say that predictions, because it might actually spoil the story, right? If you accidentally spoil the story, even if you didn't intend to, I don't know, it kind of ruins the surprise, right? If you're like, aha, I knew what was going on the entire time, I don't know. I feel like it kind of like, again, kind of spoils it. Anyway, I walked through the mansion looking for Karen, and then in the end, I ended up here, huh? The clock tower is standing outside, as well as the mysterious door. It's open. Was this intentional or coincidental? Looks like I've just got to head in. The answer is surely ahead of me. Okay. This is a lot bigger than I thought. It's a lot bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. I walk along a gloomy, dimly lit path. I got the chills merely by being in this obviously unnatural place. My instincts are telling me there's danger ahead. Even so, as I continue walking down the path, I eventually arrived at the door. I looked at the door and hesitated. Is it really okay to open it? What will happen to me when I see what's ahead? Oh. Okay. I can choose. I can be like, nah, let's just go home. Or I can open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. No, actually, I'm curious. What happens if I just don't do it? I mean, is it the same as the other choice, where it's like, I'll be like, nah, that's okay. I'm curious. I took a step back, and just as I was about to go back the way I came, yeah. Oh, so you didn't see it after all? Why then, if that's so, I could have just chosen a different course of action. Well, who cares? It's the 7th day anyway. I heard someone's voice. I'm sorry, but once you've arrived here, I had no choice but to do this. I'm on your side, but that's why I'm going to finish this by my own hand. Don't worry, we'll meet again soon. So, good night. I love you. Oh yes, to me. I guess. And 2. Reset. She just freaking backstabs us. It's an instant kill. Okay, that's Daisuke, the her Adonis, which kind of the her Adonis. Just a weird subtitle. I feel like it's just English, Anyway, this is one of the endings. It's an ending that you arrived at because you tried to find out more about her. In that case, without trying to know anything, spend more time with her. That is also an answer. Well, what does that mean? Without trying to know anything, spend some more time with her? That's actually confusing. The turning point is the third day. It all depends on what you do after that. And maybe you'll arrive with a different ending. Okay. All right. So what happens if I did open the door? Because that it seemed that was an ending to don't open the door. What happens if I did open the door? Well, it's a dark room. Dark, creepy room. I opened the door. The door led to a small room. But it's too dark. I can't see anything. It's even darker than before, and I'm starting to feel crazy. Just what is... I muttered, groping around and reaching a nearby wall. What was that sound? At that moment, the lights in the room started to turn on. What's happening? The lights are turning on. That thought was short-lived. What? You know, actually, no, we have like very red hair, you know? It wasn't brown red, it was just pure red. Not dark red. Anyway, I couldn't get the words out. The scene that unfolded before my eyes was too unrealistic. And furthermore, too eerie. What the hell is this? You saw it. It can't be helped. If the door is open, anyone would be curious and they want to go inside. Karen, this is... I told you, didn't I? This is not a good place for you to be in. This place isn't any of your business. Even so, that's too bad. Oh well, who cares? It's the 7th day anyway. 7th day? What the hell are you talking about? You don't need to know anything. Because you'll forget it soon enough anyway. Saying that, she took up a stance. She took up a fighting stance. In her hand was a blade. Don't worry. You don't have to be so afraid. I'm on your side, but that's why I'm going to finish this by my own hand. Don't worry. We'll meet again soon. So, good night. I love you. And we get stabbed again. And that's the ending. Same ending, technically. So no matter what you choose, you get the same ending, but I guess you get like a slightly extended scene if you do choose to open the door. Alright. Daisuki. I know what this means. It says Daisuki. Oh, not... Anyway, no. Can't read it. I don't know Japanese. I know like very basic hiragana and katakana, which is like, doesn't... It only shows you how to pronounce words, but doesn't... You know, it doesn't give you the meanings of the words. Your earlier stage, about you, yourself, your family. Maybe you'll have a different ending to the story. Oh, that was a different like hint. Interesting. Alright, so going back to day 1. Let's check out some of the choices, just because I'm curious. We haven't really checked out the greenhouse on the first day. What happens if we go there first? I don't know. I came to the greenhouse. Wow, this is amazing. To my right and left, plants grew as far as my eye could see. I have very little knowledge about plants, but could still tell that this place was amazing. It's very well taken care of. I know she says she had money, but the Kagomiya family must be even more important than I thought. Isn't it great? As I'm admiring the plants, Karen comes in from the entrance. Oh, it's amazing actually. How can you maintain this huge greenhouse all by yourself? Well, things are so much more convenient nowadays. I do call in contractors a few times a month, but I basically tend to it all by myself. If it's me, there's no way I can do this. Oh, but you might find it unexpectedly fun, you know. Maybe it can teach you if you want. I think I'll spend a little more time here, and when I got some more spare time, maybe I'll give it a try. Yeah, looking forward to it. Why would Karen be looking forward to that? Because you said something like that. That's enough to make me happy. For me, it's enough that you're willing to try out something new. Well, got a few things to do, so I'll be going now. You're leaving already? You just got here, though. I only came because I saw you in here. Well, see you later. She left. I don't know anything about Karen yet, but at least I got the feeling she's not a bad person. Flashbacks to like her stabbing us multiple times. I hope to get to know you better from now on. I thought absent-mindedly as I look at the plants. So that's the greenhouse scene. So they're kind of like filler. I don't know if I need to show them all, but I don't know. I'm curious. What if we try to go to Karen's room early? Well, what happens if we do that? You know, I'm just curious. We just go in her room the first day. This is Karen's room. Walking down the hallway, I found Karen's room. I looked to the left and the right to make sure there's no one else in the hallway right now. Hey, so what am I thinking? I was told not to go in there. Let's go back. There was a good time to go in there. Though probably when she's not in the mansion. Moreover, what would I even do if I got in? I mean, you do the anime thing where you like look for her pantsu or something. I don't know. So as it turns out, on the first day, if you go to Karen's room or like my room, then nothing really happens. Really, at least if you go to Karen's room, you know, on the day when she's like not away, nothing happens. So I guess we've seen all the say since day one. Let's continue on. All right, so second day. Again, I'm assuming going to Karen's room and my room, we'll just skip the day again. So nothing will happen there. What happens if I go to the courtyard this time? So if I like go technically, you go to the courtyard the first day and the second day you go to the courtyard again. I came to the courtyard. What a beautiful day. I said something a senior would say as I sat on the edge of the fountain. Maybe it's because I have too much going on in the past 2 days or so, but this might be the first time I felt so relaxed since waking up here. It's nice to have a leisurely day like this once in a while. Turning my gaze to the hedge, I saw that the flowers were in bloom. So there are flowers blooming here too. Flowers, what's it called? Those flowers are called ukijosu. Ukijuso, I think. You surprised me. You came out of nowhere. I'll show up wherever you are. More importantly, have those flowers caught your eye? Well, I guess so. It's beautiful, isn't it? Ukijosu. Or Joso? It's small and pretty. I really like this flower. Its scientific name is Adonis ramosa, and that name comes from mythology. Wow, you know a lot. Well, that's because I take care of these flowers. But did you know? Ukijosu are poisonous flowers. It's a beautiful flower, but also poisonous. That's part of its charm. Okay. Poison. Huh. By the way, what does Hukujoso mean in the language of flowers? Hukujoso, in the flower language, means bringing happiness, eternal bliss, sad memories. That's what they say. It really is two-faced. Happiness and unhappiness living together. Isn't it? But I like that meaning in flower language. Isn't eternal bliss wonderful? Maybe somewhere in this world, people are living a life just like the meaning of this flower. You don't say. Does that include the unhappy part? I think that unhappiness is a necessary component of eternal bliss. At least that's what I think. I see. That's one way to think of it. Yes, there are many ways to think about it. That's right. If you're not busy, why don't you join me for tea? I made some sweets. Then I'll gladly have some. Okay, let's go. As Karen dragged me along, I suddenly had a thought. Eternal bliss, huh? Just as she said, there's probably someone out there, somewhere, who's living a life like that. Alright. Ironic. It is called irony. When the protagonist does not know they're saying something that actually applies to their own situation. But then it does. It's called dramatic irony. Alright, okay, so back on the second day again, let's check out the reading room. Why not? I came to the reading room. Oh, she's still here. My, it's you, welcome. When I opened the door, there was already someone inside. Did you come here to read? Well, it's the best way to pass the time. I think so too. That's why I'm reading this right now. What are you reading right now, Karen? This? That's just a regular novel. Karen showed me the cover of the book she was reading. Twilight Traumatta. In plain language, twilight dream. It's set in the countryside during the summer, and the story begins with a boy returning to his hometown for the first time in years. The boy was spending the summer peacefully with his childhood friends, but a girl showed up. The girl knew the boy, but the boy didn't know the girl. So it's a story about a boy who encounters a mysterious girl, which sets in motion the boy's destiny. That's like 90% of like sending romance anime stories. Anyway, it's always like just a normal boy meets a mysterious girl. You know, it makes sense. You know, if it's like obviously it was a romance targeted towards a male audience. You know, it's always the love interest that's the interesting character. Anyway, I see. From the sounds of it, it's like a mystery story. As far as the subject matter goes, it's a romance, but there's a mystery aspect to it as well. The ending in particular left quite an impression. So, is it your first time reading it? No, I'm reading it again. I like to do that sometimes. Oh, did you want to borrow this? No, it's fine. Just lend it to me when you're finished. Okay. Well, then I'll just do that. Oh, well, I'll do just that, rather. Karen's gaze returned to the book. When you're reading a book, it's nice to have someone to talk to. I'll read it as soon as Karen lends it to me. It's just a nice day. Just a nice, normal day. Reading a book. It has nothing to do with the actual main plot of the game. Totally, don't worry about it. Alright, so looking back. Okay, so kind of explored all the scenes for the second day. These two, you know, are the same, so they didn't do anything. Alrighty, so third day. You know, interestingly enough, I don't know. Save it here. Now, interestingly enough, on this day, you go to Karen's room, and then, you know, you progress the story. You can also go back to my room, or your room, or his room, or I don't know. It's confusing when you use my room. It's not really my room. But if you click this option, you get like an extra scene. What happens if you click on anything else? I mean, Karen's not here. Do you just do nothing? You just like sit down? Yeah, I go to the courtyard. Is there like an actual scene, or like we just do nothing for a bit? I came to the courtyard. It's good to be here, but there's nothing in particular to do here. Let's go back. I feel like I spent a lot of time on nothing. Okay? Okay, it just skips the day. Okay. Nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. What about here? I'm curious. I'm assuming it's the same thing, but I'm trying to be like super thorough. I came to the greenhouse. Karen isn't here today, but still it's nice to come to the greenhouse for a change. Even though I'm not a plant person, I can still tell how beautiful they are. Since I've come all this way, I'm going to take a look around. As I was looking at the plants, there was one flower among them that caught my attention. Is this a crocus? It was a crocus in bloom. Yellow and purple crocuses, I don't know how to pronounce that, but they're blooming, neatly separated into two sections by color. It's beautiful. If I had any knowledge about flower language, I'd talk about it right now. As I blurred this out, I suddenly noticed a sign hanging nearby. It's got a description of the crocus. The information I was looking for was also written on it. Karen is really thorough about the details, or should I say obsessed? Well, I'm grateful for it. I looked over the sign. So in flower language, the crocus symbolizes the joy of youth, longing, trust me, regret of love. As soon as I uttered the meaning of crocus in flower language, the image of Karen passed through my mind. No, Karen's got nothing to do with this. She's not related to this, I think. That's what I'm thinking, but somehow something feels off. The symbolism of the crocus and Karen have become intertwined in my mind, and it won't separate. Oh, let's forget about this. It's not my business. Shaking off my doubts, I stepped away from the crocuses. Alright. So again, small little scene there. Just like seeing another flower, being like, ooh, symbolism, you know? Look at this, look at all this symbolism. It's everywhere. Alright, so, okay, what happens if you go to the reading room? I came to the reading room. Karen's not here today, so this will be the best place to kill time. I will kill time itself. It will be destroyed. No, Oh then, what should I read? I took a book off the shelf and looked at the title, which seemed to be a Japanese translation of an English book, which is actually... I mean, it's a Japanese translation of an English book translated to English, but actually it's Japanese. You know? There. Dawn Automata. Dawn Automata? Is it like Near Automata? Something about machine dolls? I'll take a quick look at the summary. A young boy, an apprentice puppeteer, lives in a place called the City of Dolls. One day, a mechanical doll of an eagle was created, and so the story begins. That doll had an ego, but it did not know what love was. The doll spent time with the boy and gradually learns about love. Seems the theme is about hearts and love. It looks interesting enough from the summary. I'm quite interested in this Dawn Automata book. Okay, let's read this today. And so I began to turn the pages. And once I finished the book mysteriously deletes itself, you see. That's how it works, no? There you go. So I think I've explored all the scenes. So let's progress as usual. Okay, alright. So this is my third kind of playthrough. I basically picked all of the options that lead to us getting either a memory or knowledge. So it's kind of like a perfect run of the game. And it seems like here near the end here, I believe. Well, I don't know if we're on the 7th day yet, but there's a new scene here. The obituary spelled the end of my reason for existing. I'm assuming screaming? Ah! I couldn't accept his loss. I had a rough time. It was apparently an accident. I don't know where, I don't know when. But now he's gone, just like that. You sacrificed yourself to save me. What a beautiful story. That doesn't exist. That was my mere delusion. Okay, so I mean, obviously, the story that she mentioned in the very beginning, how like we saved her or whatever, or like the main character saved her from a car crash or whatever, obviously that was a lie. And the fact that he was in an obituary implies that he's dead, you know? So it just happened out of nowhere and... Well, why? Why? Tell me why. My body won't stop shaking. I wanted to go follow after him as quickly as possible. But I didn't have the courage in me to kill myself. It's ridiculous. I clung to him so tenaciously that as soon as when he's gone, I scream miserably like this. I'm so weak. So. That's right. Suddenly, a plan formed in my mind. I'm an alchemist, so I can make it. A him that's just like him. I'll create my ideal. I couldn't get close to the real thing, but if it's a copy, I'll see him again, once more. He's the only one for me. I'm the only one for him. The one I've been longing for all this time. When you're born, you won't know anyone but me. So you have no choice but to love me. Just as a newborn chick recognizes the first thing it sees as its parent. That's kind of, isn't that called grooming or whatever? It's like creepy. Anyway, if I imprint a false memory on you, a blank slate, you'll become my ideal. So I started on my plan. You will create the perfect husbando. After that, there's nothing more to say. I prepared the mansion. I stole his corpse. Just dug it up, you know? I got rid of anyone who got in my way. And I spent all my days in fervent research. At the end of it all, I created my ideal. But with modern alchemy, it was impossible to maintain its existence. Without the Philosopher's Stone, the thing I created could only exist for 7 days. But that was fine. Because I can just repeat those 7 days over and over. Each time the 7th day arrives, I can remake him anew again. That's just the way it is. And so, the birdcage of 7 days was completed. My beloved, precious world. It's really... I love you more than anything in the world. As long as you're here, I don't need anything else. Okay, day 7. Aha! Okay. There you go. This is day 7. And finally, there's some new dialogue. Let's see. Soyukin, are you awake? It's morning already. Wake. What the? It already happened. No, not like this. A woman was there all alone. The woman is at her desk, writing something frantically. Or to put it in another way, making something. I have to hurry. I need to be faster. I can't stand it anymore. No, I'm feeling strange. Why? Mumbling, she murmurs to herself. It was a pathetic sight. Clinging desperately like a poor little child. Soyukin. Soy boy can. Anyway. It keeps going. She laughed with madness written all over her face. Wait for me. Because I'll meet you again soon. So... Don't leave me. Don't leave me. The poor woman was all alone, haunted by her delusions. Inside the birdcage, searching for her ideal. Ending 3, The Delusional Alchemist. Okay. Kind of ends abruptly there, but it kind of confirms basically, yeah. He's been creating these, like, Soyukun clones, you know, or Soyukun, like, homunculi over and over again. Without any of his memories, because he doesn't, I guess he doesn't know how to implant memories like that to him. And, yeah. And then she's just been delusional this entire time. So, this is one of the endings. It's an ending. You arrive because you found out too much about her. In that case, might be good to keep respectful distance. Treat her like a lady. And maybe you'll arrive a different ending to this story. You know what I'm saying? I think I got all the endings though. Oh, there you go. Okay, the main menu is different now. All right, so I got all the endings. So there's only like, well, there's like 3 main endings. I guess there's like 2 like game over kind of endings as well, in a way. But yeah, there you go. So, you know, depending on how you go through the game and like the different choices that you make and different locations that you visit, you know, then it'll be a different outcome. And in a way, again, it's kind of like it's kind of meta, you know, in a way, because the whole point is that she's making these different Soyakuns that only live for 7 days. Once they die, she makes a new one, and you know, in a way, it's kind of like looping, right? So each playthrough is another Soyakun. Funnily enough. Anyway,